Liebe Zuschauer, herzlich willkommen zum WIRO Sitzsackschnack hier aus dem WIRO Hotel in Rostock-Warnemünde auf der Mittelmole mit Blick auf den alten Strom. Zur ersten Folge des neuen Jahres begrüße ich herzlich JeQuan Lewis, Guard der ROSTOCK SEAWOLVES. Hello JeQuan, how are you doing?
What's up? How you doing? I'm doing good.
Yeah, great to have you here.
Glad to be here.
Yeah. So, the first show of the new year. Do you have any New Year's resolutions?
Mine are pretty simple. You know, every year I just try to be a better version of me, a better version than I was than the year before. So just set it off at a high rate, high tone, and should be a better version of me.
Okay, sounds good. Sounds good. So we're here to talk a bit about your career, how you start playing basketball, what are your, if you have any what your cultural background is. So we start the typical question: when did you first hear about the ROSTOCK SEAWOLVES?
I first heard about ROSTOCK around summertime. It was pretty kind of late in the summer for me when I received the call from my agent, and along with coach held here, and ever since then we just set it off.
So you've been through a lot of countries before. I mean,
Yeah.
How many years you played professional ball?
This will be 6.
6 years. But you've been to South Korea, to Israel, to Greece,
Yeah.
to Estonia.
Yeah.
So take us through the countries. What is your main memory of maybe your highlight so far?
South Korea will always kind of be special to me because that was my first time overseas. It was my first experience outside of America alone, and it was just, you know, I feel like when I took that step, I kind of took a step in life as a man, you know what I'm saying, able to kind of maneuver through life in basketball. And then the fans in Korea were just so amazing. They're so, like, they love basketball culture, they embraced you, and it was fun, you know, but it's definitely a different style of basketball. There's only 2 Americans per team. So that was a little different, but I had a nice little stint there while I was there. The language barrier was probably the hardest thing.
Yeah, I can imagine.
But, you know, it's cool. They keep you busy with basketball. It's a lot of games a week, and, you know, majority of the people know what you're there for. So it was pretty easy. I was living in Goyang, which was a really, really nice city. I left there around December and started my career in Greece for Europe, just to kind of get a dose of it. My agent thought that was ideal for us, just, you know, to play at the highest levels. You know, that's the goal. And it was a smaller team at the time, but, you know, it was a whole completely different experience, you know, when it came to the culture, Americans, and, you know, the Greek culture, you know, very passionate fans, and, you know, like, you can be on their good side or you can be on their bad side. So, like, it was definitely an experience for me. Definitely a very, very, very competitive league, Greek basket, and yeah, I enjoyed it for the most part. The following year I signed with PAOK. It was my first year in Champions League, which is European play, and that was just a completely different level. The level of competition, you know, the travel, the playing, like everything was just a little different, you know. Instead of playing 1 game a week, you're playing 2, sometimes 3, and it was just fun. It kind of helped time pass. But then after that, here I am, Rostock, Germany. First time playing in Germany. I've heard all about Germany throughout my career from former teammates and just how they take care of you in Germany, the culture, the basketball level. Like, it's been fun. Like, this far, it's been everything everyone said, and I've embraced it. Rostock is a beautiful city. You know, it's really, really nice in the city center. People are nice, outgoing. You know, they'll come up and speak to you, or they'll just smile at you, and, you know, it's just a good feeling to feel welcomed in, you know, someone else's country. And, you know, as far as games, man, the gym is probably the most packed I've played in Europe. You know, like, it's probably biggest, not the biggest gym, but the most fans I've played against on it every single night at home. And that's a blessing for players because, you know, we feed our fans, we enjoy playing in front of fans, and it's fun to see them fill up the stands. Here, like, everybody has a warm feeling, and, you know, they support you through the good times and the bad times, and that for Americans is really, really, really a blessing. Like, just to feel that comfort, just to know, like, okay, like, through the ups and downs, like, we're gonna have y'all support, and, you know, we're gonna try our best to continue to do big things here and win as many games as possible. You know, that's the goal. But, you know, it's so much easier when you have support just like we have here.
Mm-hmm. Well, you said that you've been traveling a lot of countries. You played in a lot of countries. What would you suggest to your younger self right now about what he could be or could do differently when he started over his career?
I probably would have finished my first year in Korea. Just, you know, like, just really embraced it. You know, like, it was kind of different for me for outside of work because it was just you go home or you just go to the gym. So I was going crazy at home, just bored out of my mind. But, you know,
so to embrace more the South Korean culture,
embrace more of the South Korean culture, and, you know, like, not really be such in a hurry to get home or talk to somebody, you know, that I'm used to talking to. You know, like, here it's more so, okay, you got a more American teammate, so it's kind of, it's easier to, you know, and even your German teammates, they all speak English and they're very cultured, so it's even better, you know, versus South Korea. Maybe two of my teammates spoke a little bit of English, you know. Coach didn't speak any English, and you just have a translator, like, with you at all times. It's kind of tough, and I was a little overwhelmed, I would say, but I would have just stuck it out. I feel like that would have just set the path straight for me. And yeah, that's what I would tell my younger self. Just stick it out, really embrace it. Now, like, when I go overseas, I look forward to it. You know, I embrace it. I'm ready for whatever's thrown at me. And, you know, like, I get out more and try to see the city, meet the people, you know, like, embrace the language barriers and, you know, trying to learn new things, because at the end of the day, yes, we're here for basketball and work, but it's also an experience.
It's also, know? All right.
Yeah. So you gotta not take it for granted.
So you understand any German, or you speak any German right now?
I probably learned Dankeschön.
Dankeschön. Yeah.
All is good.
So the basic stuff.
Yeah, the basic stuff. You know, I'm the type of person that, like, if I can't say it right yet, I won't say it, just because I don't want to, you know.
Yeah.
Some people maybe feel like it's me being disrespectful to their language, or, you know, making fun of it, and I don't want them to ever feel like that's the case, you know, just because I don't really know how to pronounce it or understand it.
So, but do your German teammates help you to learn more German words, or do you exchange with them about your career stations so far?
I mean, we mess around in the locker room all the time, just, you know, basketball talk, and, like, I mean, this is a great group of guys, honestly, like, Germans and Americans. Like, it's probably the best group I've ever been around when it came to just people and personalities. You know, like, Coach did a really good job of finding guys that really get along and just buy into each other. You know, it's nobody on this team is selfish. Everybody's here to help one another, you know, and we all just have our own relationship outside of basketball, you know, and it's not like that most places. You know, it's usually you go to work and you go home and then that's it. But here it's like we really embrace each other. We hang out, we spend time together, and it's been cool. We learning. By the end of this year, I'll know a couple of German sentences for sure.
Then we meet again. And then you teach me.
For sure.
Okay. We were talking about some impressions you had from Germany so far. What about Rostock? Do you have any favorite places to go to?
I mean, Lunchbox for sure. That's a no-brainer. You know, that's my spot. Lunchbox is my spot for sure. But I just like being on the harbor. You know, like down there by Steakhouse or Rose Marina or something. Yeah. Like, I like really being down there. Just kind of, that's where I go to do my meditations and stuff and just relax, just clear my mind. Sometimes just go out there and sometimes not even walk, just sit on the steps and just chill. It's cold now, but you know, when you get out there, it kind of warms up.
You know, we have a saying here in northern Germany: there is no bad weather. There's only not warm enough clothing. So, I mean, have you walked here at the beach?
I have. You know what? I haven't been to the beach yet since I've been here.
You see a bit,
but I see a little bit of it now. It's nice.
It's a bit foggy, but
yeah. I agree with that though. When it's not windy, it's not really that cold.
It is.
The wind is when it's.
But the wind comes from the east sun, and so it's really chilly. So.
Right.
Yeah. So talking about basketball, talking about your game, when did you start playing basketball? I've read that you played football in high school. Is that correct?
Yeah, football was my
first love.
Everything, first love. You know, like just grew up playing football, and you know, I had dreams of going to the NFL. You know, that was everything for me. But I say around 6th grade is when basketball became serious for me. It's when I started learning it. Yes, I played when I was younger, but it was more so like just street ball. You know, it's really no rules, just outside with your cousins and your friends, and you know, just playing. But I wasn't really that good. You know,
so you had a group of guys, or in your I don't know, where do you come from?
I grew up in Middle Tennessee.
So there's not a lot of street ball culture, like it is.
I wouldn't call it street ball. We call it more so playground.
Playground.
You know what I mean? Like we'd be at the park, or like if not the park, somebody got a goal in the neighborhood.
Yeah,
so
just hooping.
Yeah, just you know, neighborhood kids just get into it.
And then like a local legend.
For sure.
They know you. They still know you on the streets.
Oh yeah. I mean, the city I grew up in is pretty small, so yeah, it's pretty well known, I would say. But yeah, middle school is when I kind of picked up basketball. In 7th grade, I started playing travel ball, AAU basketball. This guy named Mark Miller. We had the Tennessee Tigers, and that's when basketball changed for me. You know, that's when it became serious. It became something that I really, really loved and enjoyed. And he kind of just showed me the way. Like he's like a father figure to me. You know, if anybody asks who my dad is, like that's what I would say. And ever since then, we just hit it off. And each year, I just got better and better and better. And it was just, I just fell in love with it. I fell in love with the process. Like I fell in love with getting better. Like it's just crazy the work you put in with this right here. Like it really show just over time.
When did you realize that you have the potential to become a pro athlete? Did you have
you know, as kids, you have like, that's everybody's dream.
But in college?
I would say before college. I say about 8th, 9th grade. I just knew like this was gonna be my life, you know? And a lot of people, granted, a lot of people didn't believe in me, doubted me for whatever reason, but you know, I believed in myself, you know, I believed in God, and I just knew like this was meant for me. The way it just changed my life, like I knew I would do this for the rest of my life as long as I can. And here I am. Even when I got to college, it was just like, you know, this is just one step closer to where you want to be. And, you know, we had a great organization to prepare you and get you ready for the next level. And I'm just playing through him. Besides
that, I mean, talking about your own mentality, did you have any role models you looked up to? You have any
basketball-wise? Like
basketball-wise, life-wise?
Basketball-wise, I would say Allen Iverson was kind of like, I wouldn't say like my favorite player, but he was somebody like I really like mimicked, just because, you know, he was smaller compared to most people, and people would say,
he played
like
football in high
yeah,
school
yeah.
too.
So it was kind of comparison. So like I really like took on that mentality. But Kobe Bryant was my favorite player, just based off his mentality, the way he just approached the game on a day-to-day basis. And like when you put those two together, it's just like, wow, it's something.
Better than MJ.
Yeah,
probably. I don't know.
I mean, I didn't really grow up in the MJ era. Like, yes, he's the GOAT, but like to me, like Kobe's my GOAT. You know what I'm saying? Just because that's the era I grew up in. But yeah, my role model aspect, like I say, I would say Mark Miller. You know, he's like my pops. He, the way he just maneuvers through life and just embraces everything, and you know, takes everything day by day. Like that's one of our quotes. Just everything, every day is just day by day. Don't get ahead of yourself. Like let yesterday go, and don't focus on tomorrow. Just
embrace the moment.
Embrace the moment. Be where your feet are, and that's taken me ways and places I've never even expected to do. you know. We're very optimistic about every situation, and I feel like he was kind of like my angel, just to really put me on the right path to keep me going.
So you still think about that every day, that he gave you something that you...
There's not a day that passes we don't talk, you know.
Oh, really?
There's not a day that passes. Every single day.
Wow.
Even when he's on tour doing his music stuff, like, we find time, we talk, like, every game, like, no matter what time we play, it'd be 6, 5 o'clock in the morning his time, and he's tuned in, you know, every halftime, like, he's like, yo, like, just like when he was my coach growing up, he was like, yo, just little things that just, you know, if I'm getting outside of myself or I look frustrated, he'll just tell me to flip it, you know, like, relax, you know, do your breathing and just turn the page. And so every day, like, there's not a day goes by.
So you have, when you talk breathing, you have meditating?
Yeah, I meditate every day. I really just embraced it. They taught us in college, but I didn't embrace it until this year. I just made a complete life change around July, and I just been really focused on, you know what I'm saying, like, your mental health and just my well-being, you know, like, so I embrace it now, and I feel like when you do it consistently, it really helps you, you know, like, your emotions don't take control of you, you know what I'm saying, like, you can reset in a really tough situation, and, you know, like, I can block out the outside noise, and I'm just in a better place mentally, you know, because it can be tough. Like, basketball can be overbearing sometimes, you know, when it comes to this job. It looks fun, looks easy, but it can get hard.
Yeah.
And so,
I mean, distractions from fans,
yeah,
free throws,
being away from home, being away from my daughter, like, all of that kind of weighs on me, but I've learned to take control of my mind and be in control. Don't let my mind control me.
Did you realize that your performance is better than the years before?
I've been playing some of the best basketball I've played in my professional career on a consistent basis, you know. I can always be better, always get better. That's just my mindset. But overall, like, consistently, like, I'm having fun with it, you know. Like, the past few years it's been pretty rough for me mentally, but now I feel like this is the start of my career, even though it's year 6.
Okay, so
yeah,
that sounds good. So
sure.
Finally, we have some hot seats questions.
Okay.
Thank you for the interview.
Yeah.
So you know what hot seat is? Like two words, and you decide this or that one. Okay. So we start: tea or coffee?
Coffee.
Steak or salad?
Steak.
Mountains or the beach?
Mountain.
Cash or credit card?
Cash.
Walk or drive?
Drive.
Assist or score?
Assist.
Burger or pizza?
Burger.
Early bird or night person?
Both. Early bird.
Guitar or piano?
Piano.
You play?
I know one song.
What song?
Hot Cross Buns. You know what I'm talking about? I learned it on the flute the recorder when I was in middle school or elementary school, and then I learned it on the piano like 5 years ago.
Okay, that's like riding a bike. I mean, one song.
Yeah, it's only like 4 or 5 keys,
Okay.
but memorization.
Okay. And finally, you prefer reading or watching Netflix?
That's tough. I just really picked up on reading, but I would say Netflix.
Do you have any recommendations, reading or Netflix?
I've been reading this book by T.D. Jakes. It's called Identity. It's actually my second time skimming through it, but the first time I read it, I really didn't like embrace it. Like, I didn't really take my time and really read it. I just skimmed through it, but this time I really just sat down and I've been reading it page after page, and I'm like, dang, like, it's really helped me a lot. Yeah, like, I'm starting to get it, for sure.
Okay. Thank you for the interview. I wish you a happy New Year. To all the viewers, Happy New Year. You want to say something to the camera?
Yeah, ROSTOCK, I appreciate y'all. You know, I look forward to the new year. I look forward to the rest of the season, but all and foremost, Happy New Year to y'all.
Ja, also ein gesundes neues Jahr für euch alle da draußen. Das war der WIRO Sitzsackschnack für dieses Mal hier aus dem WIRO Hotel in Warnemünde. Und wir wünschen euch eine gute Zeit und bis zum nächsten Mal.